good morning, and welcome to Shambhavi Spectrum. It is my very proud privilege to have my father, Dr. Brigadier Ramanan, with me here, sharing my screen, sharing his thoughts on second innings today. Thank you, Appa. Thank you so much for reaching out, and thank you for your time. And welcome once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't know. I'm not going to call you Dr. Shambhavi for this meeting because it will be very awkward for me. So I call you Gita. Since everybody knows you as Gita, and it's easy that Gita is a common name, all right? And I thank Shambhavi Spectrum for giving me an opportunity to talk on issues which are now almost 28 years old. And I have to convey many messages through the
Thank you.
spectrum, to the
Yeah.
spectrum, so that people who are in the first innings, when they go to the second innings, they have a pretty clear idea of what a person can go through or has gone through and what they should be prepared for. With that in mind, this topic, second innings. Now, why? Now, why we
Wait,
did
Pa,
not?
let me interrupt you and ask you a question. You called it second innings, and I know that in life you have told us many things which led us to believe that people change every 5 years and evolve, and which I firmly believe is right. Can we start now with, please? You've just finished writing your MA psychology theory papers, and you just have your practical to finish. Tell me why MA psychology, why education, and why the rigor of going through these papers at this time and age.
Right. Since you have asked a question on the latest area, I would like to explain why MS psychology and why study. That's more important. Now, it so happened that I found knowledge is the strength of a person, and knowledge focused only to one particular field does not open him to the mass, to the public. Now, for example, in 1995, I became part of, as a founder volunteer of the Indore Society for Mentally Challenged Children. Now, that was my first requirement for entering into thinking about psychology. And it's also so happened we adopted a girl for my brother, and a lot of questions came up on her mental ability. Till I went to a psychologist who referred me to another psychologist. Now that lady ripped me open. I said, why? Such an excellent, intelligent girl. Why do you people have to put her through a torture? She is good, accept it. First you go and study. The third thing that came into the being, I had a word of mine who had picked up psychology PhD as her subject. Now, very busy woman, working mother, was always teaching on her toes, running around to 1 year past, 2 year past, third year I fired her. I said, look, Supriya, it's unfair. You are ruining yourself because you are just around 35. You have a long way to go. And your way is going to depend upon the knowledge you gain. She said, sir, but sir, I am so busy, mother-in-law, mother, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, sorry. Find 1 hour a day. Sir, I am flying from Ahmedabad to Bombay. I said, sit at the bloody airport and study. Now that started triggering her. So one day she came home and had a long chat with me and my wife on her topic. a very interesting topic. I won't talk about it. And how we can contribute. I said, very good. So then I told her, look, you are talking on self-esteem. You're talking of arrogance among the teenagers. You're talking of revolt in the engineering colleges, student revolt. Now look, I will not understand any of this till I had the background. So I said, let me pick up one goal. Now there are many methods of setting a goal. One is you set a goal and you think you are going towards that. You don't. Because there's nothing accompanying you, nothing forcing you. So what? So I said, my parent university, ignore. So I registered for a MA psychology course in 2017 January. Just 4 years. So what happened is, I had something clicking here all the time. Okay, look, friend, clear paper, clear paper, clear paper. Now, when I got into this process, I finally found that there was a cognitive psychology, there is a social psychology, there is a counseling psychology, clinical psychology. Now, I went more and more into psychology. Now, I found A, I was a better man. B, I was contributing to the society. Not only my mentally challenged society, an average society. When a couple came to me with a problem, I didn't look black. I'll take an example. An army NCO came to me with a big problem that his wife is a beautician. She runs a boutique, beauty parlor, spends all her time there, and comes back home, neglects the child. Now that's a very unique problem. Now, I didn't have to go through. I didn't understand, but my background studies helped me. Then also he told me, comes home, she takes a couple of begs, and after that she's flat, and she misbehaves in every manner. I told him, I groomed him step by step, never met that lady. Didn't want her to know. I was easy to go and say, Ma'am, kya kar rahi ho? I said, no. Today, they are a much happier couple. Now, my contribution to them, due to my study, now that carried on to my paper after paper, then practicals. Met an excellent practical teacher. I met an excellent practical examiner. Oh, incidentally, she gave me 80% mark for my age and my tie. That is a separate issue.
So, yeah. So, Appa, thank you for sharing that about the psychology and how you have grown as a person after doing the course and at every step of it. Your contribution to society has always been very highly regarded by not only your family members, but also by everyone who's come under your umbrella. Let me now come back to the topic of the second innings, and I would like you to tell me, where do you want to start your discussion on second innings from?
See, a man falls in love only once. I hope so. I hope so.
Don't
Now,
scandalize my audience, please. I have young students and entrepreneurs listening to this.
I have to tell them. I have to tell them. And in that one time falling in love, I got the love. She's my darling, and she is with me for last, or I would say, she bears me for last 60 odd years. Long time, isn't it? But she had an excellent second innings. Well, I might have been the chavi, but she, the one who did a first innings for 30 odd years as a wife, an army wife, a commanding officer's wife, a formation commander's wife, a mother, a daughter, a mother-in-law, a daughter-in-law, blah, blah, blah. Did a good job. That was when she was around 40. I said, I married you as a +2, and today you are a BSc, correction, BA in English. Doesn't end. So I put her through a MA in English when we were in Himachal. She loved the education. She loved going to the college. She loved being a naughty girl in the class. Now, from there, when she came out, when she was around 42, I told her, I said, darling, not enough. You need one more qualification. So we put her through a B.Ed. Now, why I had all this in mind, as a captain, I used to tell her, darling, army officer, no counting of time. Make yourself stable. Look after the children, make them stable. Then a formation commander, a brigade commander. That level, I said, now you have done your part. Would you like to do something? Which she herself said, no, I want to go and teach. Now it's a exposure to the world. No joke. Nobody wanted a 40-year-old teacher. Nobody wanted a middle-aged teacher. They were looking for either young teachers or super teachers. For a year, she worked unpaid in a cantonment board school.
Right.
She went for interviews. Now, that working on the cantonment board school was the first step, which didn't give her satisfaction. She joined another school on the second year of the raising. 10 years she stayed there. Now that was literally second innings. Now I want every one of you that sometime you ought to go to a second innings, be ready for it. Prepare yourself for it. Now having got everything in life, got a good husband, children, son-in-law, don't become a contented person, complacent person and start playing Buffalo. You have to contribute to the society. Now let's see what she did. After 10 years there, she moved in as a principal to a school. Now that was a quantum jump. Now, till that time, she was a very good wife, a very good class teacher, very good mentor, very good coordinator, but she was never a personality. She was never the principal madam. She joined a school as a principal of a CBSE school. After being there for 6 months, she realized the school was using her and not giving her an opportunity to make a good school. She said, Ramesh, I will work only if you let me make the school. If you're going to make yourself, I'm not your woman. She didn't even tell anything to me. She said, I'm not going from tomorrow. I said, fine, you're absolutely fine. By that time, there was a gap. She joined another school at a much lower salary as a vice principal. Now, that was a very interesting beginning of a second innings. 10 years she stayed in the school, less 1 year. She became a renowned academician. She became a member of the Kendriya Vidyalaya Sainik Board, Central School, Academic Council. She was an academic member and had a say. And slowly in the town and in the society, Mrs. Swarna Ramanan became an entity. Now, her being an entity, we have a joke in our language which says, in Asmin Grame, Achar Prasiddha. In our society, my wife is more popular. Now, with that, what happened? Her second innings led her to becoming an author. Now, she wrote and published a book in 2017, and Geeta and co helped her to write it for a long time, published a very good, useful book at a very cheap cost for the society. It didn't end there. It didn't end there. She went into translating the book into Hindi. As soon as the lockdown is over, her second innings, the next step is coming. So she had a goal. You as a person have to set yourself a goal. Now, when you have a goal, you move toward that, you achieve a post. Now, that is what you move to the goal, somebody gives you the post. It is not you move to the goal and you get the post. No. In this scenario, why I chose this topic of second innings, to make every member of this audience understand that it is a second innings, the second half, which plays a major role in contributing to one's own entity, establishing a personality, behaving on one. Well, and when you become a personality, you can be a wrong personality. Doesn't matter. But still, what you have given, what you have done is very important. Were able to answer your beginning, Geeta?
Yes, Pa. Thank you for that, Pa. My next question to you is particularly with the youngsters today and the audience today. How important is it for anybody to have a mentor? Now, Amma had a mentor in you and a support. And now, so the second audience, the youngsters who are working today, like you said, husband, wife, both are working. There are so many challenges. How important is it to support each other, or should everybody have their own line of thought? What do you think about it? Coming from your times till now, are there any changes that you have observed? And is it a good change or a bad change? What have you observed?
Oh, be very clear. I don't like three words. I, me, mine. Vivekananda taught. Don't use these three words. You are a good speaker. But since you have asked a question on mentor, it compels me to bring out some mentoring I have done. Okay. Now, two major mentorings are discussable to tell you why you need to have a mentor, or why you need to have a comrade or a buddy who can help you to move. First, I'll take a mentor, buddy baad mein. Now, what happens is, 2008, I was unemployed. I had a gap for about 3-4 years after doing my professional law work, which I did. 2008, I walked into a college and I said, look, I am Dr. Ramanan, I'm available. So they said, what do you want? I said, peanuts. I said, I'm not on money, but I do need money to sustain. So we took a peanut and I joined them. I suddenly found that I was a founder of the department in that college. That one became an independent college and I turned out to be the founder. So I built a team. Now, in the process of building a team, there are many systems. Sometime interviewing and printing, we can talk. Now, when I picked up a series of youngsters, middle-aged. One was Dheeraj Neem. One was Rahul Jain. One was Silky Janglani. One was Mamta. One was Sanjeev. 5, 6, 7, 7, 8 of them. Supriya was one of them. So she wasn't with me. She was next to me. Now I did the department for 6, 8 months. I realized none of them had a future, because being an MBA or an MCom did not permit you to become an assistant professor. You needed a PhD. So I used to call them one by one, fire them like hell. But I knew if I had to request them, concourse them, coax them, they won't understand the value. I may have to terrorize them that no PhD, no Naukri. But I was with them. One by one, I made them up, take the topic. I got them a guide. Now, all the guys in the university were my friends or known or colleagues. I got hold of Dr. Mankotia, another one. Now, these 7, 8 people, over a period of 18 months, found that they were going towards a goal. Now, can you believe within 24 months, where I had not a single PhD, I had 8, 10 doctors. The university used to ask me, how do you manage? I said, look, you mentor them. One was finance, Agarwal, one was marketing, one was HR, one was IT, and this girl, army officer's wife, has a BTech in electronics, who did a PhD in industrial relation. Now, what happened? I not only had 8 PhDs with me, slowly they fanned out. Now, how they fanned out? Nee moved to Jalandhar as head of the department of the university. Sanjay moved to Sagar University. Agarwal moved to another college. Silky moved to Symbiosis. Now, what happened? Slowly, they started building the students. So, mentoring is a tough job. It involves work. I have taken their classes for them. And they said, sir, my guide is calling me. What do? I have a class. I said, go. I will handle my topic. Come back and take a class. Mentoring is very important. To get a good mentor, well, you're lucky. You get a bad mentor, that's also good. I mentor the staff college students. I have about 150 students who have passed and gone. The chart which you see here is teaching them. I teach them things which they need to know, which their career doesn't teach them. Now, see the advantage. Those who have gone have done, qualified, gone, performed well. So it is a cyclic process. It's a chain reaction. Mentor becomes an old man, a student achieves his qualification, becomes a mentor, and it helps. Now, that is for the academic education society. Now, I have to talk on mentor on illiterate orphan. Now, you'll find I'm taking you away from your level to a very different level. Permit me to talk on how you can mentor an orphan. Now, it so happened, I was traveling to down south. I found a deaf, dumb boy being harassed by the urchins at the railway station. I told the others, why are you? No, he's our friend. कुछ बोल नहीं सकता. I said, fine. He was just 10 years old. He was a victim of the 1984 Bhopal tragedy. Now I went over to Chennai. Next day I came back. I searched for this boy. He carried my luggage and came up to the bus stop. He asked me, do you want to go to a hotel? I said, no. Bus stop. Now from the bus stop, I told him, come with me. He said, no, I will not come. I came back to Indore, told my son, look, Jamba, you don't have a brother. You better go and get this boy. So Jamba went in a car. I thought he won't succeed, but he brought him. Suddenly found an urchin, dirty to the hell, lying in the house. It was 1995, 1st of March. 3 months it took for him to adapt. He ran away, he came back, he ran away, came back. My wife had her views. I said, no. Training somebody is a bad job. Let him go, doesn't matter. Let him run away. Carried on, put him to a school. Now in the process, the school principal, Dr. B.K. Jain, Mr. B.K. Jain, became my mentor for social work. He told me, one, deaf, dumb, mute, two, blind, three, mentally challenged. Now what happened? Bringing that boy gave me boon. Boon means boon. I went from 95 to 2021. I am into these people. Gives me immense satisfaction. I learned sign language to a great extent. I taught people to learn sign language and go and work with them. I tried to learn Braille. I couldn't, but I trained teachers to learn Braille and talk to these children. Now this boy, 95 to 2005, yeah, he did well, studied. By 2015, I decided to put him into work. So I put him in job after job, job after job. I put him in chain making, I put him in screen printing, I put him in tailoring, I put him in cycle repair, name anything. And in the end, he picked up tailoring. He didn't like me. At one time, he used to fight with me. He used to say, because of you, I am not continued. I would have been a chain expert. I said, no, we have a long way. Now, what happened? This boy joined industry in Pithampur as a tailor, and it specialized in collar making and cuff making. Today, he's getting 14,000 in the factory. It was followed by he got married to a deaf dumb girl. I was abroad in Australia. The day I was flying to Australia, he got married. I said, look, now I have brought you up. I don't want to search for the girl. We did see many girls, didn't work out. Now the girl who joined him is from Agartala, a Bengali girl who doesn't speak a word, class 2 education. So we said, we'll mentor her. So I gave her a tailoring machine. Before that, she joined the factory, same factory, because his boss decided to mentor her as a factory labor. So she does the sorting of material. He is in the tailoring department. The couple go there, the couple come back, and they have a small little room. And now, me and with Gita, we are planning a house for them. House selected, house brought, everything done. The lockdown has held us back. Madam, I am answering your question of mentoring. Yeah, you should not hesitate to be a mentor. Colonel Kohli, I was captain, walked up to my house and said, come on, sit down, study. I said, sir, I'm very good. He said, that arrogance is what is going to kill you. So here you are failure. I said, no, sir, I'm good. He said, no, you think you're good. Subsequently, Kohli carried me as a mentor till I cleared the competitive exam, and I owe it to him. I've written in my history, Colonel Kohli as an episode. Now, what is important? Mentoring is sacrificing your time, sacrificing your life, sacrificing your hobbies, sacrificing your entertainment. But the products you make give you the credit. Now, how I got the credit? One last word. Silky had her, Silky Janglani is her name. 24-year-old girl, 23-year-old girl, walked up to me, fought with me, and got a job. I said, okay, given. 27 years, she went for, I left the college. She went for her Viva. 2 days before the Viva, she called me. She said, sir, I'm having a problem. I said, what? She said, I have to carry my daughter to the Viva, and she's only 9 months old. I have nobody to look after. I said, darling, don't worry. I will be there. And don't worry, I'll look after the baby. Now I went there. Luckily, our sister had come. I took the baby, but the sister said, sir, you sit inside the hall. When the whole thing finished, Viva, and the examiner said, Dr. Silky Janglani, congratulations. She walked up to me, picked up my hand, took me to the same table, took me to the examiner and said, "Sir, meet my professional father." If he was not there, I would only been a teacher. So mentoring has payoff, long-term payoff. You can't see. God knows what to give you, when to give you. Thanks for the question, but it was spoken more from my heart because I want everybody to be a mentor. God bless.
Thank you, Pa. That was much required and makes me emotional. And I know and understand because you were there and you came to Banasthali with me when it was time for my PhD, when it was time for Sita's PhD. You stood by her. Sita is my sister for the audience who don't know. And I know that you have mentored many people and gone through with not only the helping process of creating, writing, but also as a support when they have needed you, whether they thought they needed you there or not at that time, you have been there for them. And you're known for this in the family and in friends group. So it was a very nice thing. And what you said about mentoring means you are sacrificing your time, your hobbies, your entertainment for somebody else, but it has an impact on somebody's life. I think that was a very, very important lesson because time is what we don't have to give to other people at all nowadays, or maybe in any days and in our vocabulary, in fact. So I think that's a very great message which you gave. Are you still going to talk about, would you like a sip of water?
No, I want a minute on continue on the mentoring point since you have raised an issue on time. Now, time God has given equal to everybody. How you use it is up to you. But I want to tell you one more thing. 2009, one young man walked up to me and said, "Sir, I am Jitan. Since the topic of Banasthali came, I would like to take it on for 1 minute." Now, I said, "I'm Jitan. I'm from a village. I've done MBA from an unrecognized college. I want a job." I said, "Okay, I can't take you as a teacher, but can you type?" He said, "Yes, sir. Go take a test in Word, PowerPoint, come back." I said, "Join." Now my boss asked me, "Sir, what have you done?" I said, "Look, I need a staff member to be my secretary to filter all unwanted entries. And I want him to contribute to the college." The boy joined. The first problem we had in hand was to have a hostel warden. So I moved him as a hostel warden. So he landed up with my secretary in the morning, evening with the college hostel. Continued. I called him one day, I told him, "Unrecognized MBA won't help you. Get a recognized MBA." Put him on the Open University and got him an MBA degree. It took him 2.5 years. Now what happened? He became MBA 1, MBA 2. And then I moved out. When I moved out, he also moved out as my PA to a new shop where I went. Then one fine morning, I had a steno there. She came and told me, "Sir, do you know Jitan says you joined engineering college?" I said, "What do you mean?" So I didn't ask him anything. He, after some time, told me, by the way, he was living in my daughter's house. He told me, "Sir, my ambition of my life was to do engineering in civil. So I joined. 4 years. He got a 3-year entry. He got 1 year skipping. That is, those who are science graduates can go directly to the second year. 3 years engineering. Today he is a BSc, MBA, MBA, and a civil engineering graduate, and is working as an engineer, but as my secretary. Lives with us, works with us, eats with us. But the joy is, we have a very person to depend on. He has a person to work with. So the days he don't work in engineering, we are looking forward to one day he growing in his choice field. So you can mentor a person. He is the one who accompanied Gita to Banasthali and sat through all the doctorate preparation presentation practices. Jiten, you are part of my life.
Thank you, Jiten, for that. When you're going to be listening to this, definitely. Thank you very much, and I do appreciate your support, which you gave, and that the fact that you accompanied Appa and were there was really an important point in life. Um in your I had asked you a second question about support from your spouse. Would you like to talk about that? Do you want to take a sip of water before you do that, or a sip of tea? Would you like me to pause this for a minute and continue again, or should we continue our conversation, Pa?
No, no, support from spouse may be a wrong word. Right? I always tell her, you are not a better half. You are a better full. I always tell her, support from a spouse is lucky. You will be blessed. Now, there is a story I have to take you away from here. All the gods, Lakshmi, Kuvera, Saraswati, all went to God and had a big fight. He said, look, you're a conchor. You have done all the distribution of work and you do nothing. Now you as a top man, you do nothing, nobody will do anything. He said, no, I do 6 jobs. He said, no, God, you don't do anything except watching others doing something. He said, no, I give the time of birth and death. Very good. True. There is no separate God, no Saraswati, no Lakshmi, no Brahma for birth and death. Time, God does. Second, Yash and Buddhi. Now, a man may be, I don't want to take his name, Lalu Prasad, but he's a renowned IIM teacher, a laborer from a factory. Had all the Yash as the best railway minister. Now, Yash is something that goes to the mind from where only Lord resides.
That is the fame.
Fame.
Yash is the fame. Yeah.
Fame. Buddhi. When I deal with my mentally retarded children, I realize why God has not given them equal. God says, no, I give Buddhi according to what I give them and how to use them. Only I know. So these 4 things, the 5th and the 6th is the most important thing. I decide the spouse. I decide the servant. A man may be the richest of man, but maybe swapping his own house, his own car. There may be a beggar for whom somebody will bring chai and give him. Oh, Baba, chai pile. Servant. Now comes the spouse. He decides the spouse. Absolutely, he says, I may decide. Marilyn Monroe, 6 spouses. It's my job. Prime Minister of England gets a spouse yesterday. Who is the spouse? When is the spouse? How he or she joins you? Decided by him. Now with that in background, my best full. Oh, don't worry about all what we do. But she has been my best full. She's not better half. I never treated her as a subordinate. For that matter, I'll tell you a small thing. One day, they called me to be a principal of a school. And I refused because she was the vice principal there. So the people who came to call me, who were my colleagues, friends, said, look, very good, you'd make a team. I said, no, she has never been my subordinate. From day one, she has been my partner. She has been my counselor. She has been my advisor. She has been my children's mother. She has more rights over me than what I have on myself. Now, in this situation, a spouse, you're lucky to get a good one. Now, question arises, are you a good spouse? Since I am coupled with X or Y, Am I a good spouse? No, when I start becoming a good spouse, irrespective of all bad habits, that person slowly becomes a, well, may not be a good spouse, but a moderate spouse. I have a principal of a school here who was my teacher, who has a drunkard husband. Now, what happened? It so happens that the man was a dead drunkard. 15 years struggling. I mentored her. Ultimately, the man now is 999% better. I can't say 1000% better, but he's a better man. So she made a very good spouse. So as long you're lucky to get a good spouse and you're lucky to be a good spouse yourself, how you contribute. Every time I got into problem, which I got into many, I only called up my darling, Kanama, I'm getting into trouble. She said, I am with you. Go ahead, fight it out. Similarly, when she had a fight with my boss's wife, she only told me one word, Rami, I'm going into fight. I said, go ahead, full liberty. Now that makes a team, right? The role of a spouse, learn it, practice it, execute it. Don't have a role model spouse. Don't call a goddess to be a role model for you. Sita, Ramchandra's wife, may not have been a very good spouse. Durga Maya, who danced with her husband, may not be a good spouse. Now, what is important? Are you contributing as a spouse? Are you enjoying the contribution? Hey, stop. Too much. Up to you.
Yeah. So, Appa, tell me something. Talking about second innings, what has the role of technology been for you? You adapted it. You adapted to it much earlier than what other people did, and you're very good with devices, and you're always open to learning. You've learned coding by yourself. Tell us, especially the people who have a barrier in their mind that technology is something which they cannot cross and it creates some kind of a barrier. Tell me, please, tell the audience, what has the role of technology been and how is it so important in our lives right now?
Okay, before I come to that, I need 1 minute more on Dr. Meeta Kapoor. Now, she also was a B.Tech, came to me for a job. I took her on, no PhD. And again, brilliant means brilliant girl. She wrote a paper combined with me, and where they called her for 20 minutes, they gave her a 2-hour session in the seminar. Now, Mita took on PhD, took on a topic, but didn't continue. Now, it so happened that she got moved out with her husband, did one posting, and then came to Delhi. So I asked Mita, hey, look, in one of the messages, where have you progressed? He said, sir, I've got a cupboard full of data, but I don't know what to do with it. I wasn't going to Delhi for something else. So I coupled out about before my flight returning for 6 hours for her. I went to her house in Shankar Vihar and I found loads and loads of paper and data and pen drive. And I said, sit down. Now, this is how we go further. 1 year's time, Mita picked up her doctorate. Now, she's Dr. Meeta Kapoor now. I went and had a holiday with her in Binaguri. Now she's in Bangalore. Now, what is important? It's not that you counsel only where you are. You may have to go somewhere. Go. Do it. Pay off very high, very high. Kapoor is happy. His wife is a PhD. Children are happy. She herself is a proud Dr. Kapoor, Dr. Meeta. Coming back. Now, I had commanded a formation from 1989, 1 January to 15 July 1991. Now, here we're going back to the mentor. When I was coming to unit, while I was in peace forward with field area, my boss man, General Rajinder Singh, had taught one thing very beautiful. He was my mentor for many things. Just think strategically, think future. Every person will talk to you of yesterday, 10 days back, what he did as a student, blah, blah. Think of what is future. Go for the future. And this I wrote in my history. People can read. And soon it will be in the Northeast Warriors also. Now here, what went into my mind, I applied. When I finished my tenure as a commander, I, by request, got a posting back to the Army War College. The Army War College is the premier institution of entire Asia. To come there as an instructor, where I had already been one session, is a blessing. And when I came there in 1991 January, I saw a room full of 20 computers. Nobody using. So I said, what's wrong? I picked up computer little knowledge when I was a formation commander. We used to work on storyboard. And those days, 89, 90, the computer used to be no hard disk, no ROM, no RAM. You had a floppy booting drive, single floppy or a double floppy, A colon or B colon. Now what happened? Then I told the concerned officer, I call him Guru, Colonel Gill. I said, Guru, open it up in the afternoon for people. No, sir, 1:30 close. I said, no. I went to the commandant. I got the okay. Now, 91, I had 3 more years to retire. 94 January, I was to retire. I went into storyboard. Then suddenly I found storyboard got replaced. It went into Microsoft, went into Windows 3, went into Windows 5, Windows 7, and slowly, I became 360 Microsoft. Now, what I had to do, I was teaching as a professor. So I started using the technology at that level, what was available. And I at that time decided the way technology is coming, it's a long time payoff. So 1993, when last 6 months before your retirement, they give you a technical training. Wherever you want, you can do whatever you like. I picked up computer course, 3 months course, a diploma issued by Ministry of Defense at Delhi. I went to Delhi, stayed in a mess. 3 months, I played a lot of golf with General Iyengar and Colonel Subha, but I did a lot of learning. That was the time Windows 3 had come. DOS had not gone. My teacher himself was not clear on Windows. So I got midnight hours at the institute. I used to sit down, work, and I started teaching Windows 3, 3.1. That took me one step forward. And when I carried on, a day came, I became a director of a college. I established computer labs. Now I had a 5-year vision. After 5 years, how much I should do. And my boss was great. I put 30 computer order. He made it 100 computers. I asked myself, so what have you done? Don't worry. What you're thinking, I'll make it better. So we had 100 computers, 3 labs full. Pushed everybody. MBA into computer. Economics MBE into computer. Bachelor of Fine Arts into computer. Architecture into computer. Hotel management into computer. Now what happened? I had 14 departments. So slowly I got into what they were doing. And then the mobile life came from Nokia mobile. It went further. Today with Samsung mobile, Samsung tablet, and my daughter on Apple phone. Now I had to learn more. In the meantime, my second innings focus was army, civil apart. Army made me what I am, and I wanted to pay back. Now I can't pay back my money. So I started paying back by developing, using technology for the army. So I created a website, FaujiMapReading.com, and I created a website, FaujiMilitaryLaw.com. It's open, anybody can use it. And I coupled that with the training I give to officers of 9-10 years service to study, prepare, and go to the staff college. Staff college is a big achievement in an office, and it opens the path, gets him an MSc degree, and he gets filtered out the cream and the shop. And not that those who have not done staff college are bad. We have had chiefs who have not done staff college. But staff college is a path, it's a step. I train them. I train them in tactics. I train them in tactical thinking. I train them in command. Whatever I learned, I pass it on. Now, my Fauji map reading is meant for the soldier. Soldier from the non-Devanagari belt. People who do not know Hindi, who come to the army and learn knock, knock, Khan, Khan. Then when you ask him, Khan ko cho idhar, ye Khan nahi hai, ye won't hai. Oh, sorry, sir, Khan idhar hai. Now that man is designed for him. I coupled it with my slum children's school, where I'm a patron for the last 20 years, to earn some money. Maybe 1 rupee, maybe 10 rupees. People who use that program pay 1 rupee, 2 rupees to the school at a time. But the school stands a long-term investment. And now I'm in a very advanced stage of that. I have brought it to mobile. Thank you, Gita, for taking me to the technology life. In this process,
I want to share something with you. I don't think we've done this before, but your map reading, if you remember, you had shared some material with us. In fact, you even made your grandchildren take a look at it and review what it was. And Ananya, when she'd gone to camp for her Duke of Edinburgh, remembered some of the things that you had taught in the map reading, because they had to do a map reading and reach a destination. So it was a very important and very interesting bridging of granddaughter and grandfather. So I thought I should tell you that, because it's not only the army people, also others who can benefit from the map reading. People now, especially, they like to go hiking. And they learn, so these are some things. So it's not just specific to the army, which I want to highlight here. And I think we've had a very long day with you in your conversation and taken away a lot of time of yours. And I'm going to say tagda raho to you in your style, and wrap up for today. But I'm looking forward to the next episodes of Second Innings whenever you find the time, Pa. And thank you, and bye-bye, and love from your prima donna, as you always like to call me that. Thank you, Pa.
One last message. Whatever a person does, he does fast forward. Now, when he does fast forward, in the end, he must get some clear messages. Right? First message, I'll have 3 of them. The first message is, please remember, education never ends. Studying, reading, academics never ends. I am 82 and I am proud I am writing my MA Psychology project. I am proud I am working on Devanagari typing for the last 20 days. Education never ends. Second, please be very clear. It's not what you get that matters. It's what you give that matters. If Gita can put up my 1 minute goal, OMG, I said only one thing. Give, give, give. Life is give. The day you come into a level to give, you are an outstanding person because you don't take, you only give. So what? You don't need money to give. You can give love, you can give knowledge, you can give affection, you can give guidance, you can give so many things. You can give prayer, you can give meditation. Please give any amount. And the third and the last thing I want to say, I have some friends, maybe very close, whom I call Tolkanta. Tolkantas are those who measure every time. Everybody. He'll meet somebody, he'll measure. Is he wearing the right dress? Is he combining? Has he got a correct matching? No. When you start measuring something, you're losing that person. Now, that person may be absolutely awkward looking, but maybe here, everything is here. You will suddenly find that man may be all pomp and show, but may not be able to give you any useful input. So, accept everybody as they are. Take it, fine, leave it, let them go. But if the third and important lesson, you don't hug everybody as they are. Hug them physically. Ma Andamani teaches, she called hugging mother. Hug them. Maybe that one hug will save a very key situation. That the trouble which they can't share, that one hug might take it away. Please understand that you have to have very clear thought process of educating yourself and all the time giving, all the time. And lastly, all the time accept people, world, environment, circumstances as they are and make it better. If you can make it better, sweet. God bless you, ma. Gita.
Thank you. Thank you, Tagda Rao. Thank you very much.
You have opened
Yes,
out a lot of things in me which I didn't know myself. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye, Pa Tagda Rao. We'll catch up again soon. Thank
Tagda
you.
Rao.
Bye.